Right then, Valentine's Day is around the corner. What preparations are you doing? What new strategies have you got lined up? You need to be making use of these holidays, right? Onlyfans is a very holiday related business, right? We want to make sure we're capturing people's attention, and when people's attention are on the holidays, different festivities, different occasions, it's on people's mind. They're going to engage with your content when you focus on it too. So with that being said, what we thought we would do today is kind of do a video focused directly towards mainly models, right? What can you do to prepare for Valentine's Day in order to monetize the occasion to the best of its ability, create a good user experience within Onlyfans that's going to help with retention, sales, and new subs, okay? I suppose from an agency perspective as well, these are things that you can consider when you're creating content plans, content ideas, chatting structures, so on and so forth. So we're just going to be kind of going in, what are we doing as an agency? If you didn't already know, my name is Ryan McNally, CEO of Winning Circle Management, one of the fastest growing agencies here in the UK. I'm here with Oliver, one of our leading marketeers and managers within the agency. And today we're just kind of going to speak and talk over what we're doing as an agency to make the most of the occasion and what you guys can do to mark the occasion yourselves.
Yeah. So first thing we're going to go over is actually just the preparation leading up to Valentine's Day. Why it's so important, what can the creators do, what can agencies do to actually maximise profits?
Yes, exactly. Like when it comes to Valentine's Day, we've got one day, February 14th. Where people miss the mark is they do no build-up, they do no preparation, they do no foundation building, so the occasion comes and the occasion goes. It hasn't been monetized, there's been no kind of planning, coordination. So really for us, Valentine's Day started on February the 1st, you know, brainstorming in the office. Okay, what can we do to try and monetize the occasion? What can we do to bring in new subs? What can we do to get them new subs and existing subs spending within the pages for the occasion? And what we can do to also help retention as well, you know, retaining those new subs. So we've really got to tick all the boxes when it comes down to the social media marketing, the funnel, and the account optimization. Have it kind of centered around Valentine's Day, and then within the page, the back end side of things, what are we doing to build up the occasion? We're getting fans excited, we're building up anticipation, we're creating new experiences. Just have an exciting feeling of the page around the occasion in order to make the most of it when that day comes. And some exciting ways we're doing that we'll discuss throughout the video, but making sure that when an occasion is coming up, if you haven't started planning bare minimum 1 week before, and that's a bare minimum, really 2 weeks is what you need, because 7 days before the occasion you want to be rolling, pumping out the strategy already. Mark the occasion in your calendar, reverse engineer about 12-14 days, and then start building anticipation so that when that day does come, the fans know what to expect, the fans are excited, the fans are in a good position to then be sold to, and then boom, all of a sudden Valentine's Day goes from being just a normal day to an extraordinary day.
Yeah, exactly. And it can be different with different spenders as well. Whales and higher spenders on the pages, they need to have that much higher attention rate, really getting them excited, making them feel the love that this model is offering this person.
Exactly. Some of these people within the pages, whales, high spenders, you'll see this, they're almost under the illusion that they're married to the models. They have this intimate connection. And if you've got this intimate connection with a high spender, someone that spends thousands of dollars every single month, and you don't give them that level of extra care, you don't give them that level of intimacy on such an intimate occasion like Valentine's Day is, that's going to leave a sour taste in their mouth, that it's going to compromise the relationship, and it's going to leave them questioning, do they want to continue spending money on this girl, or should they take their efforts and their energy elsewhere? So from your perspective, Oliver, what would you say when it comes down to the whale managers? What should the clients and what should models be doing specifically for the high spenders, specifically for the ones that are spending thousands of dollars per month? How should they be treated in separation to every other fan?
I think the main things people need to be focusing on is the content itself. So making specific content for these people, actually using their names so they know when they're watching it, this is only for me, I'm the only person enjoying this. That's a really big thing. It's not just to everyone. You're literally making content for the specific person, using their name. That's a really good way to build a relationship and show them that they are meaningful. They mean something more.
Yeah, it's like You know, the model's going out their way to film specific content for a specific person. Now, it would be impossible to do that for every single fan. We know this. But not every single fan is spending thousands of dollars per month. So you might only have 2 or 3 people that are actively spending that amount of money per month. Go the extra mile, right? Spend an extra 10, 20 minutes recording some content specifically made for them, because that return on your investment of time is going to be so much higher, because that piece of content becomes far more valuable. You're saying their name, you've done it unpromptedly, so they haven't had to pay you for a custom. No, it's like a specific message, a specific custom, a specific voice note or whatever it might be that is going to make them feel extra special. And you know, as a model, listen, we get it, content demands can be quite high. If you wanted to just kill 2 birds with 1 stone and maybe record a pay-per-view video and do a few different introductions, saying a few different whales' names, cut it up, make it one piece of content. We've been guilty of that before, because we understand the pressure on models to film a high amount of content.
Yeah.
If we can try and navigate our ways creatively so that we can still tick all the right boxes and reduce the client's workloads, then we're going to take that opportunity.
Definitely, yeah. It's super important as well, because ultimately what sells most is the belief that you are there talking to them in the moment. So if you can get a script together of some sort, like if you're just a creator working on your own Onlyfans, having a script so you can actually upsell content and create more, because they will spend more. Like if they've opened the first message and it's directed at them, it says their name, and you have another one then lined up. It doesn't have to say their name, but if there's another one to sell, they're going to buy it, because they're going to just think they're in the moment. You're having this intimate moment on Valentine's Day. Exactly.
And we know that sexting scripts sell as well, because we're in the game where we're not selling content, we're not selling a product, we're selling an experience.
Yeah.
So when we can portray this in real time, you know, sexting experience online, that's where we get the high spenders. That's where we can also appeal to lower spenders, but turn them into high spenders, because they're under the illusion this is a mutual experience. You know, as he's pleasuring himself, the model's doing it at the same time. And because of that feeling of a mutual satisfaction, and that he thinks that the model's got equal pleasure out of that scenario, he's going to keep coming back for more.
Yeah.
The value of the content suddenly skyrockets. And I think just on that point as well, it's when you're preparing content for Valentine's Day, yes, it's important to have specific Valentine's Day content, right? You know, get yourself in red, get yourself in a nice backdrop, nice environment for OnlyFans, right? But also, if you are going to do a sexting experience, if you cover your bed in rose petals, if you have roses everywhere and really just go a little bit overkill, then you can't reuse that sexting scenario.
Yeah.
You know, sexting scenarios are there to be used at will, whenever, to play out like that situation is happening there and then.
Yeah.
If it's in the summer or just whenever down the line, right, and you're selling an in real time experience, but there's, you know, petals on the bed and they're saying Happy Valentine's Day, suddenly that illusion's dead.
Yeah.
So do your sexting scripts, dress in red, fine, but then leave it at that, because then that same sexting set can be used throughout the year. It's a universal piece of content, and then it becomes a far more valuable bundle of content. But then also having, you know, Valentine's specific pay-per-views, mass messages, pictures for the wall, things like that, that is purely going to be used for Valentine's Day, because that's going to be the low ticket, the mid ticket, and the high ticket pieces of content that, with the correct build up and with the correct anticipation, you're going to be able to sell when Valentine's hits.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one thing to really remember is when you're actually creating the content, does it actually match the page? Does it match the niche that you're in? Is it going to sell, basically? Because if you're going to create content, you need to make sure everything you're making makes sense to the page. If you run an ASMR, YouTube or something like that, you want to make sure you have content for that niche on the day. You obviously want to make as many sales as possible, so the more relatable the content is and the more viable it is, the better.
Yeah. I mean, that goes for every day of the year. You know, the content you put around social media has to marry up when it comes down to the OnlyFans. But for Valentine's Day, try and cater to all audiences. That's what we do. You know, if niches are a little bit broad and we're kind of just focused on brand development, like we have creators that have fans who like one thing, one fan likes another thing.
Yeah.
It's important these fans are then put into separate lists, their desires are catered for, so that we know, okay, if we sell a specific type of content to this fan, they're more likely going to buy it if it's content style A compared to if it's content style B. That way, if we've got a piece of content to match the desires of all fans within the page, our chances of selling that content, our chance of achieving higher sales skyrockets. So really, having the page catered towards the audience, but do it in a way which is structured, doing it in a way which is really quite specific. That's what we aim for within the pages, within our chat managers, our chatters. We want to find out such key information because that's going to unlock spending potential down the line. So I suppose the final thing on OnlyFans related to Valentine's Day would be, if you're up for it, some creators are, some creators aren't. A live stream is such a great way for you to have that one-to-one connection with people there on the OnlyFans. Have that human interaction because yes, the fans are speaking to you on a day-to-day basis, aka the chatters, which most models have chatters now. But those live streams are what create complete certainty. They're the ones that really allow people to buy into you even more. Done in a careful manner. So if there's any fans that come up in the live and start saying X, Y, Z, you need to be informed of that information prior to the live stream so that the chatters and yourself are working together so that there's no random little jump outs, no little things that catch you off guard, so we can continue to maintain that illusion that it is always you speaking to the end users. I think that would wrap up, OnlyFans as a whole, and I think then if you were to stretch it into the social media space, catering towards the Valentine's Day period is important, right? Because it's got people's attention, it's on people's minds, they need to get flowers for their wife, right? It's on their mind, but they also need to spend money and subscribe to your OnlyFans. So it's on people's mind, and we need to make sure that if something is on someone's mind, they're more than likely going to engage with that piece of content. So with our clients, what we've simply done is, of course, we've got content plans, verticals that we're testing, verticals that we know work, verticals we know we've got proof of concept with, and we don't really want to deter away from your core niche from a model's perspective watching this. Don't then start completely changing your content style because it's Valentine's Day. Stick to what you're currently doing. Skits, live streams, ASMR, whatever vertical you're in, stay within it, but then just add a Valentine's Day variation to it. Dress in red.
Speak a bit nicer.
Speak
a bit more lovey-dovey.
A bit more lovey-dovey. You can maybe, if you're in ASMR, you can do some encouraging tone or that type of stuff to encourage people. Encourage people who are lonely on Valentine's Day. Allude to the fact that you're going to be by yourself on social media, so people can be like, I can be there for you, and so on. Skits related to Valentine's Day, make them comedic. Make them funny. It could be first date experience. It could be that you're going to be lonely on Valentine's Day. Like I said, really just have some fun with it. It's an occasion for you to have fun with. It's an occasion that is going to offer opportunity for sales, for new subscribers, a chance for people to buy into you on a more intimate level because it is quite an intimate occasion. And that's going to really just help bring in subs and monetize the occasion so that that you've ticked all the right boxes from at least a week prior to Valentine's Day, that as soon as February 15th comes, boom, you've made a load of money, you've got a load of new subscribers to the page, and you've done everything, you've ticked all the right boxes. Now it's time to focus on continuing the growth the rest of the month, and then when the next occasion comes, Easter or whatever it may be, the same level of preparation is required, the same level of critical thinking, building up that occasion is required so that you're making the most of the opportunity. Yeah, and that's it. So guys, if you thought this was valuable, if this was just a little insight to what we're doing as an agency with our own clients, what we're doing to prepare for the occasion and make the most of the occasion, because many people, like I said, they dismiss it or they don't think about these things and the occasion comes and goes. Whereas we want to make sure that we're making the most of it, and I'm sure there's some tips in these videos that you guys can introduce as a model and be like, right, I can do X, Y, and Z for these whales, I can do this for these fans, I can start doing this for social media, and you can start taking these tips, advice to, mark the occasion, grab the opportunity, and really make some money. So if this was valuable, comment, like, subscribe. We want to make these a bit more of a common thing where we just talk on a bit more of a personal level to, I guess, a creator themselves. A lot of these videos that I see online are catered towards agencies, but we kind of want to be directly to the model and be like, this is what you can do now with your page. If you're handling things independently, this is what you can do. And if we can be a source of value, I think that would be great for us. That's what we want to do, and continue to do that throughout 2026.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys.